Hello everyone. Hi. Hope you guys can see me and hear me. I'm just turning it on my YouTube chat as well. Just check and see if it is live. Once it goes live, I will be checking it on my chat. So this time instead of a computer, I'm using a laptop, so I will be able to see it on my chat as to what is going on. So please write a hi or a okay or something like that, so that I can be in touch with you. Okay, I think we are good to go. Just give me 1 second. Hi Abhishek, good to see you here. I think Abhishek, you were there in the previous class as well, if I'm not wrong. Hi Nan, good to see you here. Just setting up the chat. Okay. Yes, guys. Welcome to the class. So first of all, I'd like to tell you that in this particular class, we are going to discuss algebra and stuff related to polynomials, which is a slightly, kind of an advanced topic. That is slightly kind of an advanced topic. The preliminary or the base of this will be the, quadratic equations and linear equations and that sort of stuff which we have discussed earlier. I took the exact same class at 11 in the morning today. That was in Hindi. This particular version will be in English, and I'll try to wrap up as much as I can in close to a 1 hour window. I'll try to do as much as I can. Now, going forward, first of all, my name is Ravi Handa. I've done my studies from IIT Kharagpur. I have been teaching for CAT for close to 15 years now. I've taught at IMS, Time, Career Launcher, all the leading CAT coaching institutes, I have taught over there. So if you see that I'm looking at one particular side of the screen, that's because I'm looking at the chat window. Let me see if I can make it a little bit better so that I don't have to turn a lot. I think this would work slightly better. So as I was saying, other than the leading CAT coaching institutes, I used to run a website of my own called handagafunda.com. Via that, I have taught 20,000 plus students online. In case you are wondering, if you are trying to figure out which class of mine is happening when and all that stuff, I would strongly recommend that you join our Telegram group, which you can find by Quant Prep online, and you'll get all the necessary information, all the necessary details over there on the group as to what class is happening when. The course also has plus. Unacademy offers two kinds of courses, plus and iconic. In the plus one, you get live classes just like this one, but you get them in a structured format. That is, you are told you need to do this first, then this, and that is how it proceeds. In the iconic one, along with whatever you're getting in the plus course, you also get personalized guidance. These are the various subscription plans which are available. The 1 month plan or the cheapest plan is for 4,100, and the 24-month or the 2-year plan is for 32,800. I don't particularly recommend that. If you are targeting this year's CAT, my recommendation to you would be to go for the 6-month plan. And when you do that, please remember to use the coupon code HANDA. That gives you a 10% discount on any and every course. Now, these are some of the top performers that we have from the previous years. If you perform well, you can actually join this particular list. So let's start with some of the very, very basic questions. Find out the equation whose roots are 2 more than the roots of this particular equation. Now, normally how I would do a question like this is factorize this, find out the roots. If the roots come out as, let's say, 3 and 5, I will make the roots as 5 and 7 and go ahead. But for this question, I cannot do that. For this question, I cannot do that because I can't even find out the factors. So, what do I do in a question like this? What do you recommend? Let me know via the chat option. What do you think is the most appropriate thing to do? What is the process that should be followed for a question like this when the roots are 2 more than the roots of this? So, if the roots for this equation are alpha and beta, if the roots for this equation are alpha and beta, I need the equation with the roots alpha plus 2 and beta plus 2. How do I do that? What is the process that I take? Shubham is suggesting that I take the sum and the product. Okay. So sum of the roots alpha plus beta is minus b by a. So in this case it is 7 because b is minus 7. Product of the roots alpha beta is constant term upon a. So that is 30 upon 1. That is 30. In the new equation, what will be the sum of the roots? Sum of the roots will be the sum of these two values. So that is alpha plus 2 plus beta plus 2, which is effectively alpha plus beta plus 4, or that gives me the value as 7 plus 4 or 11. Once I got the value as 11, then at least my b part is sorted out. How about the product? The product for this would be alpha plus 2 into beta plus 2, which is equal to alpha beta plus 2 alpha plus 2 beta plus 4, which is alpha beta is 30. Alpha plus beta is 7. So twice of that would be 14. And then a plus 4. So this comes out as 48. And once I have that, once I have the value as 48, my job is done. My equation will be x square minus whatever came out as the sum of the roots. So minus 11x plus whatever came out as the product of the roots. So 48. So my equation will be x square minus 11x plus 48 is equal to 0. Hi Siddharth, welcome to the class. Shubham was absolutely right. I did the sum of the roots and product of the roots and got my job done. Hope you guys are okay with this. Let's try the next question then. Very similar to the previous one. Very similar to the previous one. What do you think will be the answer for this? The only difference between the previous question and this question is that now the roots are alpha by 2 and beta by 2. Instead of alpha plus 2 and beta plus 2, now my roots are alpha by 2 and beta by 2. So what will be your answer here? What will be your answer here? Siddharth Mahajan, can you tell me? Shubham Jha, can you tell me what will be your answer in this case? What will be the value that you are going to get in this case? You will do the same thing that you had done earlier. You will still do sum and product, but what values will you get? What values will you get? What will be the final equation that you will get in this case? Can you tell me that? Or how will you find that out? Even the process. The process will be the same. It will still be alpha by 2 plus beta by 2, which is effectively alpha plus beta, the whole thing by 2. Now we know that alpha plus beta, or the sum of the roots, is minus b by a, which in this equation's case is 7. This comes out as 7 by 2. The product of the roots is alpha by 2 into beta by 2. So it is alpha beta by 4 or 30 by 4 or 15 by 2, which will give me the value of the equation, as x square minus 7x by 2 plus 15 by 2, which is equal to 0. So my equation will come out as 2x square minus 7x plus 15 equal to 0. So this is the value. This is what I get. This is how I get my answer. I think Shubham made a mistake. It will not be 15. It will be 15 by 2. Shubham made a mistake. I think small calculation mistake. Shubham, you need to fix that. So this will be the equation. Now, if I change the question, a little bit and I say, what if the roots are reciprocal? What if the roots are reciprocal? What will be your answer then? That means I'm saying that the roots are 1 by alpha and 1 by beta. What will be your answer then? So I'm just taking various cases. In the first case, I increased it by 2. In the second case, I divided it by 2. And now I'm saying that the roots are completely reciprocal of it. What will be your answer then? How do you find that out? One way, which is the obvious one that we have been using till now, I will do the same thing. I'll do the sum of the roots, which will be 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta, which will be alpha plus beta by alpha beta. Alpha plus beta is 7. Alpha beta, the product is 30. The product in this case will be 1 by alpha into beta, 1 by alpha into 1 by beta, which is 1 by alpha beta, which is 1 by 30. So my equation that I'm looking for, is x square minus 7x by 30 plus 1 by 30 equal to 0, which is effectively nothing else but 30x square minus 7x plus 1 equal to 0. This is 30x square minus 7x plus 1 equal to 0. So this is how you can get the equation, but this is the long complicated way. There is an easier way to do this as well. And what is that easier way? Let me just use this space, same equation. Now what you do is, in this equation or any equation wherever you have to find out the reciprocal roots, just replace x by 1 by x. So this becomes 1 by x square minus 7 by x plus 30 equal to 0. So I can multiply the entire equation with x square. I will get 1 minus 7x plus 30x square equal to 0. And that is my answer. So you can do it in a much faster and a much quicker fashion by just replacing x by 1 by x when you have to find out the reciprocal roots. All that you need to do is just replace x by 1 by x and your job will be done. Hi Taranjot, welcome to the class. I think you missed an x there, but I hope all of you understood the concept and the formula involved here. The method, when you change the roots, how do you actually find them out? Should I go ahead? Taran, Shubham, Aniket, Siddharth Mahajan. I hope you guys are okay with this. I am going ahead. Please try this out. You need to find the quotient and the remainder when y is divided by x minus 2. You need to find the quotient and the remainder when y is divided by x minus 2. How will you calculate that? How will you find that out? What is the concept or even the idea that you are going to use? Because if you can tell me that, what is the idea, what is the process, what is the mechanism, maybe I will be able to, help you and get to the answer quickly. Long division method, Taranjot is absolutely right. That is what I'm going to use here. So long division method is, I believe, some of you might have forgotten it. So let me just illustrate that. You have to divide an equation which is 3x cube minus 4x square plus 5x minus 6, and it needs to be divided by x minus 2. So how do I find that out? Basically, I'll need to multiply x with something such that the result comes out as 3x cube so that I can cancel that. So I multiply this with 3x square. So I will get 3x cube here minus 6x square as the next term. When I subtract it, 3x cube cancels. Minus 4 plus 6 will give me plus 2x square plus 5x minus 6. So then I will multiply this with plus 2x. So I will get plus 2x square minus 4x here. So 2x square will cancel. So 5x minus 4x gives me 9x minus 6. And then finally, I will multiply with 9. So I will have 9x minus 18 minus 6, 9x will cancel, minus 6 plus 18 will give me 12. So what is the quotient? What is the quotient? The quotient comes out as 3x square plus 2x plus 9, and the remainder comes out as 12. So if the question is asking you to find out both the quotient and the remainder, this is the method that you can use. If the question is asking, so this was both of them, so this is the method that you need to use. However, let's say if the question is asking you only for the remainder. Let's say the question is asking you only for the remainder, then what are you going to do? Yes, Shubham, you do get questions on polynomials in CAT. You do get questions on polynomials in CAT. How will you find out the remainder here? Put x is equal to 2. Absolutely correct. See guys, when I have to find out both the quotient and the remainder, then I need to do all that hard work and long division and stuff. But when I have to find out the remainder from something, so suppose I have to find out the remainder from x minus 2. What I will do is, I will put x minus 2 as 0. So I'll get the value of x as 2, and I will put that in the equation. What I will do is, I will find out y provided x is 2, and whatever is the result that I will get, that will be my remainder. Whatever is the result that I will get, that will be my remainder. So this is 3 into 8, so that is 24, minus 4 into 4, so minus 16, plus 5 into 2, so that is plus 10, minus 6. So 24 minus 16 is 8, plus 10 is 18, minus 6 is 12, and that will be my answer here. Simple, straightforward process. What do you think that if instead of x minus 2, if it was something else, suppose it was Find out the remainder from 2x minus 7. Find out the remainder from 2x minus 7. Then what will you do? You will follow the exact same process. You will equate it to 0. So you will get the value of x as 3.5. And then you will put 3.5 in the equation. Then you will put 3.5 in the equation. And whatever you get at the end as the result, that will be your remainder. That will be your remainder. So this process can be used at at will. All you need to do is, from whichever thing you are trying to find out the remainder, whether that is an x minus 2 or whether that is a 2x minus 7, just equate it to 0. Whatever value you get, that will lead you to the remainder. Harshit is right. Welcome Shavya. Welcome to class. What do you think will be the answer in this one? Straightforward question. Another one just to cement the idea, cement the concept. Remainder when 3x square minus 4x plus 2 is divided by x minus 1. So what you do is you put x minus 1 equal to 0. So then you calculate the value of y when x is 1. So I will get the answer as 3 minus 4 plus 2, and I get my overall value or my answer as 1 here. Same logic, same logic. Another one on the exact same logic. Another one on the exact same logic. See, this is the question that you will get in CAT. This is the sort of question that you will get in CAT. If you know this method, it becomes very simple. This is the sort of question that you will get in CAT. If you know this method, it becomes very simple. Otherwise, it is very difficult. Divyanshi, if you are in 12th, you shouldn't really be here. Go study for boards. 12th, 10th is cancelled, but 12th is postponed. And if you ever want to do an MBA in life, please remember class 12th marks are going to be really, really important. Your graduation marks are going to be really, really important. Everyone in class right now is probably repenting that they should have studied in college and studied in 12th. Don't make the same mistake. Study hard, get good marks. Shubham says that the answer is 35. Let's check. I have to find out the remainder when it is divided by x minus 2. So I put x minus 2 equal to 0 and I calculate the value of y2. So 3 into 2 to the power 4. So 3 into 16 is 48. 4 into 2 cube. 4 into 2 cube. 4 into 8 is minus 32. Plus 2 into 2 square. So 2 into 4 is 8 plus 3. So how much do I get? 48 minus 32 is 16 plus 8 is 24 plus 3. I'm getting 27, Shubham. I'm getting 27, Shubham. How did you get 35? Either I made a calculation mistake or Shubham made a calculation mistake. Did anyone else calculate the answer for this? Did anyone else calculate the answer for this one? Oh, you also got 27? Okay. Going ahead. Now, I want to tell you that every week a scholarship test is conducted by Unacademy. To take part in that, you just need to download the app and use my referral code Handa. Use my referral code Handa. That will, effectively get you access to the mocks. If you want to ask a doubt at Unacademy, just click a picture of the question and send. Within 24 hours. Either me or someone from our team will respond with the answer. One more, I think we are doing too many questions which are similar. Let's try something slightly more complicated. Find out the roots of this equation. How are you going to do that? Find out the roots of this equation. How are you going to do that? Now, I know that you know how to solve a quadratic, but do you know how to solve this? Do you know how to solve this? I'll just get some water and hopefully by the time I'm back, I'll have an answer. 6, 4 into. Harshit is absolutely right with the answer. Harshit is absolutely right with the answer. Let me explain the process. Let me explain the process. See guys, the idea is that in a cubic equation, there is no method or process that you can follow. What you can do is some sort of a hit and trial. So suppose what you do is you put x equal to 1 and you see what is the result. So the result in this case is 1 minus 12 plus 44 minus 48. So this is minus 11 and minus 4. This is minus 15. Now since this came as minus 15, it is useless for me. If it had come as 0, then I would have said that x minus 1 leaves no remainder and x minus 1 is a factor of the equation. But that didn't happen. So I will try something else. I will try x equal to 2. If I try x equal to 2, what happens? I will have 8 minus 12 into x square. So 12 into 4, 48 plus 44x. So that is 88 minus 48. So 8 and 88, 96. Minus 48, 96. So this comes out as 0. If this comes out as 0, so now I am sure that x minus 2 is actually a factor of this equation. So let me try that. How do I find out the other factors? Well, to find out the other factors, you have to follow the long division method. That is x cube minus 12x square plus 44x minus 48. So this is what I need to do. So I do x square. So I will have x cube minus 2x square. When I subtract it, x cube will cancel. Minus 12 plus 2x square, I will get 10x square plus 44x minus 48. So then I will do x square plus 10x. Sorry. Minus 12 plus 2 will be minus 10x squared. So I will do minus 10x. So minus 10x will give me minus 10x square plus 20x. This gets cancelled. So 44 minus 20x is 24x minus 48. So finally I do a plus 24. If I do a plus 24, I will have 24x minus 48 and both of these cancel. So x minus 2, as I already know x minus 2 was a factor, I did this entire exercise to find out the other factor, which is x square minus 10x plus 24, which can be further broken down into x minus 4 into x minus 6. So it can be further broken down into x minus 4 and x minus 6. And once I have this, I know that my overall equation is x minus 2 into x minus 4 into x minus 6. And since this is my overall equation, which is equal to 0, so I get the value of x as either 2 or 4 or 6. So these are the values that I get, 2 or 4 or 6, which gives me my required answer. That's what I was trying to find out. The roots of the equation come out as 2 or 4 or 6. Good question, important question. One thing which I would like to tell you is, now some of you might be wondering that we got lucky. That by putting 2, my job was done. Well, yes, if such a question is asked in the exam, the only thing that you need to test with is 1, to -1 and -2. One of these will be a factor. One of these will be a factor. Otherwise, they will not ask you the question, because you cannot keep on trying infinitely. The reason they are asking you question is to check whether you can apply this idea or not. Whether you can apply this idea or not. So just check with 1 to -1 and -2 and you will get to the answer. Let's try something else now. What do you think will be the answer for this? What do you think will be the answer for this? Now, it is a polynomial, it is a quadratic, but now I have introduced, instead of solving it, now I am asking you that there is an inequality. How do you figure that out? What are you going to do with the inequality? How will you solve this particular question? What is the logic you are going to use? What is the value you are going to use? How do you actually get to the answer in this case? Any ideas, any suggestions? I'm looking at chat. I'm looking at chat. Please tell me any ideas, any suggestions in what you are going to do. How are you going to proceed with this? Harshit says x is greater than 1. Okay, Harshit. Is that it? Is that your complete answer, or will you like to add something to this? 1 is not the answer. Yeah, because if I put 1, I'm getting 1 plus 7 minus 8. So I'm getting 0 is greater than 0. Obviously, 1 is not the answer. Shubham, you are giving me the roots of the equation. Shubham, you are giving me the root of the equation. I'm not asking for the roots. I'm asking when is this valid? How do I find that out? How do I get that value? Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to factorize this as Harshit has suggested. So when I try to factorize this, this will become x square plus 8x minus x minus 8, and that is greater than 0. So I have x into x plus 8 minus 1 into x plus 8. The entire thing is greater than 0. So I get the value as x minus 1 into x plus 8, and that is greater than 0. Now, this means that on my number line, I have two roots of the equation. What are those two roots? As Shubham indicated, one of the roots is when this becomes 0. The other root is when this becomes 0. The first one becomes 0 when x is equal to 1. The second one becomes 0 when x is equal to minus 8. So these are my roots of the equation. These are my roots of the equation. Now, my question is, my inequality is, when is this positive? So to solve questions like this, to solve questions which have inequalities and positive and negative, you assume any value. So suppose I assume that x is 5000. Why am I assuming such a big value? So that it is easier to calculate. So when I assume x equal to 5000, both of them are positive. So at x equal to 5000, this is positive. Now, whether an equation is positive or negative, it will continue to remain so in the same range till you get a root. So if at 5000 it is positive, at 2 it will be positive, at 117 it will be positive. It will continue to remain positive in this entire range. So I will keep on going positive, positive, positive. It will remain positive. At 1, whenever it encounters a root, it flips. It will come in the negative territory. It will come in the negative territory as soon as it hits a root, and it will continue in the negative territory till it hits a root again. As soon as it hits a root, again it becomes positive. Again it becomes positive. My question is, when is it positive? So from minus infinity to minus 8 it is positive, and from 1 to infinity it is positive. The other thing that you need to check is which points will be included. If the question was greater than equal to 0, if the question was greater than equal to 0, then your answer would have been -8 and 1, both of them would have been included. Infinity and minus infinity, since they are theoretical concepts, they cannot be included. But here the question is not greater than equal to 0, but just greater than. So it will be these brackets. I hope you guys know what these brackets are. In case you don't, let me tell you, suppose you have something like this, A and B. This means that X lies between A and B, and it can be equal to them also. It lies between A and B and it can be equal to them also. If you have something like this, when it is curved brackets, it is X lies between A and B. And when you have curly brackets like this one, and when you have curly brackets like this one, this means that X is actually equal to A or X is actually equal to B. It is not a range but two values. It is not a range but two values. You need to be good with this representation because you will need it in questions like this. When minus infinity to -8, all values are valid. Union 1 to infinity. Union 1 to infinity. If you want to write it in algebraic format, it becomes X lies between minus infinity and -8, minus infinity and -8, or X lies between 1 and infinity, or X lies between 1 and infinity. Hope you guys are okay with this. Hope you guys are okay with this. We'll move on to slightly more complicated questions now. So if you have a problem with this, please let me know because the other questions will keep on getting harder. Welcome, Salman. Welcome to the class. So what do you guys think? You okay with this? Shubham is okay. So Shubham is ready to try out tougher questions. Very similar to this question, but now it is asking exactly the same question, but now it is asking that when is it negative? So when is it negative? For negative, it is -8 to 1. For negative, it is -8 to 1. Same concept needs to be used. Let's try another one. What do you guys think is the answer for this? X square minus 5x minus 24 is less than 0. Please be careful. Please look at the framing of the question. Please look at the language of the question very, very carefully. Please look at the framing and the language of the question very, very carefully before you actually go ahead with this. What do you think will be the answer for this one? Shravya, Shubham, Salman, Harshit, Taran. Be very careful with the language of the question when you are trying to solve it. Let me know what you think is the answer. I'm waiting for you on chat. If you can just give me some values. Harshit says 10. Let's check. So my equation is x square minus 5x minus 24. So that is x minus 8 into x plus 3 is negative. This is my number line. This is my number line. What are my values? Minus 3 is a value. 8 is a value. These are the values that I have. Now, minus 3 and 8 are the values here. Then what happens? Take a very big value. Suppose I take 5,000. At 5,000 it is positive. It will continue to remain positive till 8. At 8 it will shift into the negative category. And at minus 3 it will shift back into the positive category. The question is not asking for a range now. The question is asking for integral values which satisfy. Integral values which satisfy. Minus 3 does not satisfy, 8 does not satisfy. The values which satisfy are from minus 2 to plus 7. And how many values are these? How many values are these? Between minus 2 to 7 integral values. From here to here, there are 2 negative values. There are 7 positive values and there is a 0. 2 negative, 7 positive and there is a 0. So my answer will be 10. Are you okay with this? 10 integral values. Shubham, Harshit, all of you have got it right. Good job. Let's try the next one. Let's try the next one. Very small little tweaks. Very small little tweaks I'm making in these. What do you think will be the answer for this? How will you calculate this? How will you find this out? How will you get this value? How will you get this value? Harshit says it is 12. Let's check that. 40 and minus 3x. So once again, I will try to factorize this. So I have 40 minus 8x plus 5x minus x square minus x square is greater than 0. So that means what? From the first one, I can take 8 common plus x. So that is one part of the equation, 8 plus x. The other part of the equation will be 5 minus x. And this is positive. Once again, what are my roots? 5 is a root. Then 8 plus x, so minus 8 is a root. Positive and negative. Above 5, this part becomes negative. So my overall value becomes negative. At 5, at the root, it switches to positive again. And then at the root, it switches to negative again. I have to find out the values at which it is positive. So from minus 7 to plus 4, whatever integers appear in that particular range, it is going to be positive. 7 negative integers, 4 positive integers, and 1 0. So 7 plus 4 plus 1, 12 comes out as my answer. 12 comes out as my answer. Are you guys okay with this? So Harshit, Shreya, Shubham, all of them have gotten 12. Good job. Once again, I would like to remind you, there is a course of mine which started on 14th of April. To attend that course, you need to register for the Plus program. And to do that, please use the coupon code HANDA. That gets you a 10% discount on the same. Now, change the question a little bit. Now you can't factorize it. So what will you do now? The problem with this is that you now cannot factorize this. And if you cannot factorize this, how will you find out this value? If you cannot factorize this, how will you find out this value? Any ideas, any suggestions? To understand or calculate. Hit and trial will be too tough, man. There has to be some logic that you need to use. Put factors of 10 in x. How is that going to help? How is that going to help? Because there could be many negative ones as well. Because there could be many negative ones as well. So what are you going to do now? So Taran and Shubham's ideas did not work. Savya, would you like to give some suggestion or some ideas also that I can try? Harshit is saying 8. How do you say that, Harshit? On what logic, what basis do you say that it is 8? And I think Harshit is right, most probably, because you get, I think Harshit is right. See, the idea is in this question, I know you cannot factorize this. But even if you cannot factorize this, you can at least find out the roots. You can at least find out the roots. So let's try and do that. What is the formula for the roots? Minus 5 plus minus root of b square, that is 25, minus 4ac, that is plus 40, upon 2a. So this is minus 5 plus minus root 65 upon 2 upon 2. So if I take root 65 as 8.1, let me take root 65 as 8.1. So the positive root will be 3 point something something by 2. The negative root, because 8 minus 5, the negative root will be minus 13 point something something by 2. So if I plot the number line, then my roots are plus 3 by 2, so it will be 1 point something something, and in the negative side it will be minus 6.5, it will be around minus 6.5 something something. Now I am only interested in integral values, so let me plot all the integral values. Which are involved. So 1 is an integral value and 2 is an integral value. In this case, minus 7 is an integral value and minus 6 is an integral value. At a very high value, suppose that x is equal to 5000, this is going to be positive. So on this side it is going to be positive. It will remain positive till here. And it will switch to negative from here. And once it switches to negative, it will continue to remain negative till here. And then it will switch back to positive from this minus 6.5 value. What am I asked? I am asked when it is negative and for integers. So exact values I don't know, but the smallest integer at which it is negative is minus 6. The biggest integer at which it is negative is 1. So minus 6 to 1. How many integers are there? There are 6 negative numbers. There is 1 positive number. So that gives me a total of 8, because there is 1 0 as well. And this will be my answer. How can we solve these questions with the graphical approach? Same thing, man. What I'm doing here is, so by graphical approach, what you are doing is this thing. This is what the quadratic graph will look like. This point is minus 6.5 something. This point is plus 1.5 something. How many integers are there in between when this is negative? That's all you need to do. That's exactly what I've done. I've just not drawn the quadratic parabola. That's exactly what I've done. This is the graphical approach that I'm taking. This is indeed the graphical approach that I'm taking. Let's make things a little bit more complicated now. 3 roots. What will you do now? 3 roots. What will you do now? How will you solve? Till now I was dealing with 2 roots, so it was very easy to find out the roots and plot and get the answer. But what am I going to do with 3 roots? What am I going to do with 3 roots? How do I find out the value? How do I get to the answer in case of 3 roots? Harshit says it's minus 3 to 2 and minus 1 to infinity. Let's check. Follow the exact same process. What are my roots? X plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3. That means my roots are minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3. I take any big value. Say 5,000. At 5,000, this is positive. Then at root of minus 1, it turns to negative. Then at the next root minus 2, it turns positive again. And then at the next root of minus 3, it turns negative again. So you have positive, negative, positive, negative. We need to find out when is it positive. So it is positive from minus 3 to minus 2. It is positive from minus 3 to minus 2 and from minus 1 to infinity. So that will be my answer here. Taran, I think you got it wrong. Shubham, I think you also got it wrong. The concept is plot the roots, do the positive and negative, make that switch whenever a root comes, and that will lead you to the answer. Let's try another one. Hopefully this will clarify. Your answer. What do you think will be the answer in this case? Value of x such that x minus 5, x plus 10 and x minus 15 is greater than or equal to 0. What will you get here? Same logic, same concept, same method, everything remains the same. What will you do here? Shubham, Taranjot. Extra thing to remember in this question is this greater than equal to 0. So you need to be extra careful with that greater than equal to 0 part. Taran says minus 10 to 5 and then 15 to, Harshit says that. Let's check. What are my roots? Same logic again. This becomes 0, root is 5. This becomes 0, root is 15. This becomes 0, root is minus 10. So my roots are minus 10, 5 and 15. At a very big value, this is positive. At the next root, when it encounters a root, it turns to negative. When it encounters another root, it turns to positive. When it encounters another root, it turns to negative. Once I have that, I need, when is it positive? It is positive from minus 10 to 5 and it is positive from 15 to infinity. Point to note that greater than equal to 0 is there. So I will need a square bracket here because I need to include minus 10. I will need a square bracket here because I need to include 5. I will need a square bracket at 15. Infinity is a theoretical concept, not an actual number. So we cannot really actually ever include. That is why a curved bracket over there. Minus 10 to 5 union 15 to infinity, which is exactly what Shubham has said. Shravya made a slight mistake. Shravya, you are not supposed to include infinity in the answer because infinity is a theoretical concept, not a number that you can actually draw and point on the number line. You cannot really include that. I hope by now you would have got the hang of it, but still, just for a confirmation, can you let me know what will be your answer here? Now there are 4 roots. Now there are 4 roots. You will get questions like this in the exam. Shubham, you might get a question like this in the exam. It is once you know the method, it sounds very simple and looks very simple. But you do get questions like this in the exam. I think if I can find, so there was a CAT question. I don't know, I had a CAT question somewhere. Anyways, let us first try and solve this. Let us first try and solve this. Tell me, what's the answer? What's the range you get for this one? Any suggestions? Shubham, Harshit? I'm looking at the chat. Tell me if you have any ideas, any suggestions on how to calculate this, how to find this out. Okay, so Shravya has an answer. Let's see if Shravya is right or not. Once again, I plot the roots. So my roots are minus 20 from this, then minus 10 from this, then 5 and 15. At a very large value, this is positive, then negative turns at the root, then it again turns at the root, becomes positive, then it again flips its sign at the root, so it becomes negative, then it again flips the sign at the root and it becomes positive. I have to find out when is it positive. So from minus infinity to minus 20 it will be positive, then from minus 10 to 5 it will be positive, and then from 15 to infinity it will be positive. Another thing is that greater than equal to 0. So I need to include the points minus 20, 10, 5 and 15. Infinity cannot be included, minus infinity cannot be included, and a union of this will be the answer. The union of this will be the answer. Now before I wrap up, I actually had a bunch of questions. This is a previous year CAT question. It had options in the answer. I have not given you the options, but this is a previous year CAT question. Let's see if you can actually solve this. Let's see if you can actually solve this. This is a previous year CAT question. It had options. I have not given you the options. What do you think will be the answer for this one? Happy to see that Shubham, Shravya are able to calculate these. What you're going to do in this question is follow the same process. You will try to factorize. You will have 2x square plus 8x minus x minus 4 in the numerator and x square minus 2x minus 6x plus 12 in the denominator. This is greater than 0. This is greater than 0. So I get the equation as 2x minus 1 as one of the factors of the numerator and x plus 4 as another factor of the numerator. In the denominator, I will have x minus 6 into x minus 2, and this entire thing is greater than 0. this entire thing is greater than 0. What do I do now? I don't have the, the roots were there. When it was roots, I could very easily do the positive negative thing. The roots were there, I could very easily do the positive negative thing. But what do I do now? Can I apply the same or a similar idea? Yes, I can. See, whether something is in the numerator or the denominator, that can change the fact if it is a root or not. That can change the fact if it is a root or not. But the fact, positive and the negative part, that will not change. That will remain the same. What I'm trying to say is, at 6.1, this is positive. At 5.9, this is negative. So whether it is in the numerator or in the denominator does not matter. The flipping value that it will change from positive to negative or from negative to positive, same rules will apply. The only difference is that before I was calling them the roots. Now I cannot call them the roots. Let me call them something else. I don't know what the technical name is, but let me call them as flipping points. So what are the flipping points? -4 from here, 0.5 from here, and 2 and 6 from the denominator. Now, when is it positive? At a very large value, it is positive. At 6, it will flip to negative. At 2, it will flip to positive again. At 0.5, it will flip to negative again. And at -4, it will flip to positive again. My question is asking for when is it positive. So from -infinity to -4, it is positive. Then union from 0.5 till 2, it is positive. Union from 6 to infinity, it is positive. From 6 to infinity, it is positive. Are you guys okay with this? Because then there is one very small little concept, another small little concept that I like to tell you, if you are okay with this before I wrap up the class. So please just let me know if you're okay with this. There's one small concept, another thing that I want to teach. Taran, Shubham, please let me know if you're okay with this value. Yes, no, Shubham, I think you have made some mistake in that because your brackets are not right. So guys, keep this in mind and let us go back to the earlier question. So in this question, if instead of greater than equal to 0, or wait, let me take another one. Now in this question, if I changed it from greater than 0 to greater than equal to 0, what will be your answer? If I change this from greater than 0 to greater than equal to 0, you will simply convert all the brackets into square brackets except for infinity. You will simply convert all the brackets into square brackets except for infinity. In this question, if I change the question from greater than 0 to greater than equal to simply greater than 0, what you will do is you will simply convert all of these to curved brackets. In this question also, if I change it to greater than 0, then what will be your answer? Once again, whatever were your square brackets, you will change them. So I hope you understood this part, but so this is only a bracket change that is required. All brackets will be changed in one go. But when you have a question like the one that we just discussed, where did it go? Yeah. In this question, if I change it to greater than equal to 0, you cannot blindly change the brackets. Can you tell me what will be the answer? What will be the answer in this case? Where will you change the brackets? Obviously, minus infinity will remain. A curved bracket. And plus infinity will remain a curved bracket. In the previous one, what you had done was you had simply changed all of them. Here you cannot blindly change all of them. What will you change here? Which value will you include? The values that you will include will not be all of them, will only be the ones which are in the numerator. So you will include -4, you will include 0.5, but you will not include 2 and you will not include 6 in your answer because your denominator, if you include 6, your denominator becomes 0 and your denominator can never be 0. Only your numerator can be 0 and you need to keep that in mind. So this is again a very common mistake that people tend to make in questions like this. With that, I would like to wrap up today's session. I hope you guys learned something from it. I hope you enjoyed this. So I'll once again request you to please subscribe to our channel and please like this video. The more likes we get, the more views we get. That will mean we can keep on sharing and making more and more free videos for YouTube. Hope you guys enjoyed this and I hope to see you guys very, very soon. Bye everyone. Bye Taranjot. Bye Shubham. Bye Shavya. Thanks for coming to class. And remember to like.